Guys, welcome to Veritas Youth, the second week of Veritas Youth Tube. And today we're coming from outside because just like you guys, I'm learning how to stay sane during quarantine. I'm learning how to breathe, how to peacefully and delightfully follow Jesus today. And so today we're coming with a message from Matthew 11. But a lot of this conversation is going to come from a book that our pastors had us read this past week. And it's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And so if you hear anything smart coming from my mouth, you always know it's from somebody who's a little smarter than I am. But guys, today in Matthew 11, Jesus has a timely word for us. He's going to instruct us to come and find rest in him. And so follow along with me as it comes up on the screen and read and meditate on this with me. Jesus says, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take up my yoke and learn from me, because I am lowly and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And so right away we may be asking, what is a yoke? You know, this isn't a word I use every single day, but what a yoke is a common farming tool or equipment that they would put on the back of an ox. And so this ox would join with another ox with this yoke upon their back. It was this heavy burden that they would wear every single day, and they would labor day after day, tilling the soil or carrying these farmers. And so the question is, how does a yoke relate today? We all carry a yoke. No matter your morals or the way of your life or how you perceive your day-to-day task, we are all wearing some sort of burden. We're all carrying a yoke. And oftentimes our yokes get distorted. Right? We're going to find rest in our screens. We're watching entertainment hour after hour trying to find this rest. Or we go on our screens to go to social media and we're scrolling minute after minute, hour after hour. And then the rest of the day we're thinking, oh, well, I'm not quite Johnny who's doing this. Or Brittany, man, I don't quite match up to her life, but oh man, I want that. And we're carrying these burdens, or maybe a burden is you care so much about this future life that you can't press pause and be present. Because you're saying, I have to achieve this so I can get into this school. I have to train so hard so I can be this future athlete, all of these good things, but we distort these idols, these misshaped places of rest and miss the source of rest. And all of these world's devices, desires, delights, they don't actually deliver you into delight. They only give a temporary satisfaction that will actually lead to an ever-increasing heavy yoke. And the question is, aren't we resting now, Austin? You know, quarantine, we've been inside for 2 weeks. We have a lot of weeks to go. Aren't we resting? I'm sleeping until noon. Then I'm taking my first nap at 3, and then 7 rolls around after dinner, and I'm napping again. Aren't we resting? Jesus isn't here to say, I'm going to lift this physical rest, this watch movies all day and sleep in. He's saying, I am here to deliver a true rest for your soul. And so Jesus, as he does, he flips the paradigm and he says, you will only find rest in the creator of rest. And that is God. His burden is light. His yoke is easy. And when you adopt the life of following Jesus, he gives you breath. You can come to him and experience a rest that isn't sleeping until noon or even sitting on a beach, but it is rest for the soul, a rest that is eternal. And with the Lord of rest, we can't miss this. And so as the ox does all the labor, carries the yoke, Jesus, he did all the labor. on our behalf. He carried his cross. He wore our rebellion. He rose from the grave. And he invites us into his light burden life of victory over death. And he instructs those that are serious about following him. He says, take up your cross and follow me. Take up your cross and follow me to get true rest in Jesus. And it's not earned like an ox that has to work all day, but it comes completely different. Oh yes, it comes in surrenderance. It comes in saying, I'm here, Jesus. I'm here. I'm accepting what you have given for me. I am accepting the rest that you have earned on my behalf. And I want to spend time with you. And isn't taking up your cross a paradox? Here's what I mean by that. Because when we die to our desires, these false delights, these pseudo-satisfactions, it is painful and it's costly, momentarily. Right? When we get rid of stuff that isn't of Jesus, it hurts. Temporarily, we're being crucified to our old way of life. But it's highly effective. Here's why. Because in your surrenderance, you're getting the easy yoke of Jesus. You're getting a burden that is light. A life with Jesus. And that life is eternal with the King of rest. So, how do we practically come to Jesus? How do we practically rest in the Lord of rest? How do we do this? Guys, I have two things. Set apart time every single day to sit with Jesus. And whether that's 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours of setting our phones down, turning off the television, and just sitting with Jesus. Because he wants to spend time with us. He wants his children to come to him. And he's saying, I will deliver you. I will give you rest. You can talk to me. And something that I've loved to do is I've loved to take walks. 30-minute, an hour-long walk. And just breathe and experience the goodness of Jesus. The second practical advice I'd give is, guys, read and meditate on God's word every single day. If that becomes a rhythm of your life, you will be going to the source of rest every morning, every afternoon, or every evening before anything else comes before you. And it sets this temperance of saying, yes, Jesus, I choose to follow you today. I surrender again today because, God, I want to sit under your rest where all joy and all peace and all love flow from. And this isn't a rule that you have to do, or I have to do this so that I can earn rest. No, we cannot mistake that, because Jesus has carried our burden, and so that we can come to him as his children, as ones who say, Jesus, I need you today. I want to spend time with you, and I want to delight in your words for my life.
From heaven you can hear, I know you're drawing near as I worship. Held within your love, the wind and waves will come, but I'll stay here. I lift my hands to heaven, and my heart surrenders. Tell my soul again, you are Lord of all. And though the seas are raging, you will speak in taming. You have found my